Yes, people. What are you saying, man? Welcome back to another stream. Make sure you guys are smashing up the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the channel as well if you're new. Yeah? You know the score, guys. Come on, man. Get those likes up. Make sure you guys are subscribing as well. Big week ahead, man. Big week ahead. I can't lie. Inter Milan, Arsenal. Whoo, it's tasty. It's real tasty, man. Inter Milan on Wednesday and then Arsenal on Sunday. And this is where squad rotation, Pep subs, starting 11s, all that kind of stuff is going to have to be on point because we don't want to be going into that Arsenal game with players that are knackered or whatever. You know what I mean? We need to make sure we're fresh. Obviously, Pep, we'll speak about it. Pep done a madness with the back four, putting John Stones and Kyle Walker in for Brentford was a gamble, but it paid off in the end because we got the win and it's allowed rest for Ruben Diaz. It allowed us 45 minutes for rest of Rico Lewis. Same with Josko Gvardiol. So there's loads to speak about, man. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes. Big up to Nax. Big up to Dash, Mojis, Tom Harland. Big up to Sajal. Big up to Johnny De Jesus, Herbal, Silvio. Big up to MCFC 17. Quinton Maina. Big up to you, bro. Big up to Sam, MCFC. Mick Lads is in the building. Big up to Infidel, Tyrese, Dash, Justin, Dell. Who else we got? Big up to Elder. Mitchell's in the building as well. Man City's going to get relegated. Let's go. Big up to Sharpshooter, man. Good to see you guys. Make sure you're dropping up the likes. Here's what I think here. Here's what I think. I think these next two games, I think this could I don't want to say decide this season because that's obviously not right. But I think if we beat Inter Milan and beat Arsenal, I think mentally, Arsenal might concede the league. Now, that's a mental state. I'm not saying physically or mathematically they concede the league because obviously that would be a stupid comment to make. But I think if we beat Inter Milan, yeah, and then we go and beat Arsenal at home, we'd be 5 points clear of Arsenal. We've just beaten Inter Milan as well. I think from that point of view, I think a lot of people will be like, nah, this is City's league again. You know what I mean? That like to win those two games against two decent sides would be very good. Obviously, 5 points. You can do 5 points. If Arsenal are 5 points behind, they could still win the league. I'm not saying they can't, but I just think from my point of view, if we win these next two games, I'm going to be very confident. Very confident. And I know the Inter Milan game is a separate competition, right? I know it's the Champions League and not the Premier League, so why does that? It's the confidence, it's the mentality, it's the way that it makes you feel as a fan, the belief. I mean, I've already spoke to you guys many times this season, yeah? And the games, we've only played, what, 4 games? This season feels different to me. This season feels real different to me. I'm feeling mad confident about the season. I'm feeling well excited about the season. I don't know what it is. I spoke to you about this on was it the watch along? I think I spoke to you about this, I don't know why, right? But this season has a feeling around it which could be special, which could be very special. Now, listen, things can change. I have to delay that because my thumb's hurting. Here's the thing. Things can change very quickly. We failed to beat Inter Milan. We failed to beat Arsenal. And all of a sudden, we're feeling down. You know what I mean? We're like, oh, damn, we're being kicked in the ass. You know what I mean? But I just believe the way this team's playing right now, the way Kevin De Bruyne, Haaland, you know what I mean? Rodri's back. Foden's not even kicked a ball. You know what I mean? We've got Rico Lewis, Ruben Diaz, Akanji all playing really well. I just think the way that we're playing as a team, the squad, the setup, the tactical setup, Pep Guardiola's tactics already. I'm already 4 games in, but I'm feeling very confident. Very confident going into these 2 games. Now, I say this, I personally wouldn't have done what Pep did. You know what I mean? My personal opinion would have been to go full strength against Brentford and then rest a few players against Inter Milan. And I've told you the reasons for that before, in that, for me, Brentford and Arsenal was more important, and there's 7 other games after the Inter Milan game. So even if you did lose, I'm not really that arsed because there's 7 other games. Pep gambled against Brentford, and it almost backfired because we could have been 3 or 4-0 down in the first 10 minutes, but ultimately it didn't. And that gamble paid off. That gamble was clearly the right decision in the end. And now we can go into that Inter Milan game and take it pretty seriously, to be honest with you. And that obviously that's something that maybe if you went with my strategy, maybe you couldn't have done that because obviously I would have gone full strength against Brentford and I would have rotated some. I would have brought the likes of Stones, the likes of Walker into the Inter Milan game, which obviously is a more trickier game, and therefore we could have dropped points in the league phase there. So I think, to be honest with you, as always, I was wrong and Pep Guardiola was right, but it was a risk, and it's a risk that paid off. And like I say, that does allow us now to take this Inter Milan game a little bit more seriously. I still think we should make a few changes, and I'll go through a starting 11 in a second on lineup builder. But we should be able to go relatively strong in this game because we can then just rotate a couple players out after 60 minutes, bring some players in for 30, and then by the time we come into the Arsenal game with Thursday. We played Wednesday, so we got Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 3 days rest, and we're at home both games. Yeah, don't underestimate how important that is. For me, I just think that is... I think Pep Guardiola smashed it, to be honest with you. And yes, on another day, we could have easily lost that game against Brentford. Let's be honest with you, yeah, because that was a bit of a crazy first 10, 15 minutes. But ultimately, that doesn't matter because we didn't win. We didn't lose the game. We actually won. So, yeah, man, it is a crazy one. Let's go through the Inter Milan starting 11 then. So let's zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see it. There we go. Whoa, a bit too much, Deborah. Whoa, there we go. I need a new mouse, lads. My mouse is chalked. My mouse is cooked. The scroll wheel. The scroll wheel is just chalked. Right, okay, so let me ask you guys a question, genuine question. Does anybody think Ortega might start against Inter Milan? Or are we all saying Ederson's going to start? Did he play any games last year in the Champions League group stage? I feel like he might have done, but I feel like it was when the group was already won. I feel like he played the Red Star game away. Do you know when like Oscar Bob and that scored and Mika Hamilton? I'm pretty sure he played that. I don't think he played the early rounds. Let's have a look. I'm just quickly checking, chat. No, he didn't. Yeah, he played the Leipzig game. He played match day 5, match day 6. So yeah, he's probably going to be Ederson. If we're going off past experience, Ederson's going to be starting, so we'll get him in there. Would I be opposed to Ortega starting? No, I'm not that bothered, to be honest with you. But based off of history, based off of last year, I expect Ederson to start. And then maybe Ortega coming, with this 8 games. So if we can give him match day 6, match day 7, match day 8, that's 3 Champions League games. So yeah, if you say to Ederson, right, you're going to play the first 5 Champions League games. Hopefully we'll win them all, right? And then you can bring in Ortega for the final 3 games. I feel like that's a nice way of getting Ortega some minutes. And it's similar to what, obviously, we did last year. For me, guys, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind who plays right back. And it's not Kyle Walker. It's Rico Lewis. Because for me, yeah, Rico Lewis has absolutely smashed it this season. And Kyle Walker is just not quite at the level that we need to be in a generous way. So, yeah, for me, Rico Lewis starts against Inter Milan. And yeah, obviously Kyle Walker just needs more minutes. He needs to get more fresh. Right, okay, centre halves. For me, again, this picks itself. It really, really does. It's going to be a Akanji. And it's going to be Ruben Diaz. The Stones didn't do enough for me in the game against Brentford to really take a spot here. So I would go Josko Gvardiol. Now, what I would say is, could you maybe play Stones and Diaz and rest Akanji? Obviously, Akanji was the one that played against Brentford. Diaz got the rest. Don't be surprised to see John Stones and Diaz against Inter Milan, to get John Stones some more minutes. Because John Stones actually, the longer the game went on, John Stones got better and better as the game went on. Like the first 35 minutes, obviously, was looking shaky, right? But as the game went on, he got better and better. And he does need minutes. So I think he's going to go for that back 4 personally, yeah, because that's the best back 4 we've got right now in current form. But I think he can get away with playing John Stones for Akanji in this game. Not for the Arsenal game. For the Arsenal game, I'm playing this back 4, right? But for this Inter Milan game, if you wanted to try and give Akanji a rest, which is a decent shout because he's played a lot of football, and simultaneously get John Stones even more minutes, then you could do that. And I think John Stones in this back 4 would look better than he did against Brentford. So that's just something to consider. I don't think he's going to do that. I think he'll go with this back 4 because I think Pep's going to take it mad serious and play the best back 4, which is this. But don't be surprised if John Stones does play. I would be... I mean, I said this for the Brentford game, yeah? But I would be absolutely amazed if Rodri doesn't start this match. Amazed. I thought he was going to start the game against Brentford, to be honest with you. I was stunned when I seen that he didn't start the game against Brentford. But maybe it's understandable. Yes, Martin. What are you saying?
Oh, evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. I'm just doing the starting 11 for the Inter Milan game. I've gone through the back four. I reckon that's going to be the back four against Inter Milan. However, it wouldn't surprise. I was just saying to a chat, it wouldn't surprise me if he gave Akanji a rest and played Stones. What do you reckon?
Wouldn't surprise me. Don't like it.
Don't like it. Why?
Because exact same reason I've been saying all night. Who inverts and who doesn't?
Yeah,
Stones and Rico are both going to go for walkers at some point then, aren't they? Someone's got to play disciplined at that point.
It'd be Rico Lewis would invert.
That's what I mean, but Stones, is it me? Or is it maybe it's me? I think Stones plays better when he inverts. Well, when he's asked to just defend, I think that's when he starts struggling a bit.
Yeah, I mean, no, I mean, maybe you're saying that because that's the best we've ever seen him when he did invert. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think this could have been a back four, but it wouldn't surprise me if John Stones did start just to give Akanji a rest and get John Stones some more minutes. I don't know about you, mate, but I was mad surprised that Rodri didn't start against Brentford. Mad surprised. Like I think he has to start against Inter Milan because we need him to be properly fit for this Arsenal game. So
yeah, I've said that I was surprised. This is why you remember 3 weeks ago I was like, I'd have brought 1 or 2 in for 20, 30 minutes when you get so many minutes up. And I just think Saturday he made too many changes all at once, and there was too many cold players out there. And that back line was just. I don't know if he dreamt about that the night before and went, hey, let me go with this and see if this one works. And it's like, Walker's not played all season. Stone's not played all season. Lewis at left back might have worked for England. It didn't work for City because he went inverting again. And it was just really weird on Saturday. Gundogan, again, was cold. Yeah. Because you need that build-up back again. I don't know. I just listen. We got away with one on Saturday, and we moved with it. But I still to this day think it was. I think it was 2 changes, too many. I think it upset the rhythm and the balance because as soon as Gavardio come on, we look balanced again.
No. You're absolutely spot on. That's what I said. Pep gambled, and ultimately the gamble paid off. We won the game.
You've got a Norwegian meat cleaver up top.
Yeah, facts. But ultimately, what that done is. That gamble has got minutes into John Stones, valuable minutes into Ilkay Gundogan, and valuable minutes into Kyle Walker. Because as much as people don't want Kyle Walker in the team anymore, you've got to face reality, chat, that he's going to play a lot of games this season still because we only have 7 defenders and one of them's now injured. So
and Rico Lewis is not going to play amazing every single game. He's going to have moments because he's still only 19.
And he just can't physically play every game.
Yeah, he's still young lad.
So
you're going to kill him out.
Like you've got to play as much as people might not want to see it. Some people really don't want Walker to play anymore, but like you're gonna have to play him because you need him to get fit. Because if Rico picks up an injury or he does drop into a bit of bad form or he's just knackered at some point, you're gonna have to play probably Walker on that right back spot.
He was captain again.
Yeah,
people just need to. I don't know, park it and just deal with it now. It is what it is, and you might not agree, but it is what it is. You've got Rodri.
What?
So you got Rodri. So are you thinking Rodri's back in now? Like,
I think for me, you have to start Rodri in this game because you need him. For me, Rodri needs 67, probably 70 minutes. I want Rodri to play 70 minutes, so then he's fully like he's had 60 minutes for Spain. He's had 45 minutes for City, and then he has a 70 minutes for City. Then at that point, he should be ready for the Arsenal game, or at least like 90% ready. You know what I'm saying? Like I think at the moment it's a little too cold for the Arsenal game. So for me, I'd start him. I'd start him against Inter Milan. I think
1,000% I'd start him. The big one is when you get to the number 10 role.
Well, this is another one for me. Do you start Foden? I think you might have to.
I probably wouldn't start KDB this one.
No, I wouldn't start KDB. I think I start Foden.
KDB looked a bit leggy Saturday, or was it me? Or was it just because the whole team looked a bit off? He looked off. I don't know. It was a weird one.
Bro, I can't. My memory's so.
Because he wasn't bad, but he wasn't. He's not. Because listen, like we said, the first half, that Gundo KDB midfield looked mid-30s.
Yeah, it looked tired. Yeah.
But I don't know if that's because Brentford were that good.
Brentford were also very good, yeah. So
Exactly.
you don't know. This is the problem. You don't know what to put
This
it down
is what
to.
I mean. Yeah, I'm. Listen, but then I don't know what he does against Arsenal. That is down to Pep whether he plays. Because the one thing I think we madly missed, and it shows we missed him, was no Bernardo anywhere near that 11 on Saturday.
But I'll tell you what I do in midfield, Martin. This. Kovacic, Foden in the free roll.
Yeah.
Something like that. Alan Newcastle at home last year. Brentford away, I think we played similar style. And Foden XL both games. I do that. I rest KDB and say, right, Kev, put your feet up. Be ready for Sunday, mate, against Arsenal. Yeah, because we need to dunk on them. And I go for this. I probably rest Savio and play Bernardo Silva.
On the right.
On the right-hand side.
Doku on the left.
I'll go Doku on the left because Grealish.
I think Grealish plays Arsenal.
I think he will as well. And then obviously you're going to start Haaland. So I think that'll be the team.
Yeah, I'm probably with you because he has, believe it or not, he has talked about Bernardo still. Is an option on that right hand side. Pep's even talks about that.
Pep will play Bernardo a lot on that right.
This is what I said. I think
not being injured at the moment, he will.
Yeah, I think you'll get some games where because the thing is, we're Inter Milan. Inter Milan's not a team I don't think we're going to go blistering all out pace against. This is going to be the more of the controlled keep sort of the ball because Inter Milan are going to be very frustrated.
Yeah, 100%.
They're going to be one of them really frustrating teams. And to be totally honest, I think, and I'm guessing here, maybe the way Arsenal are going to play, maybe similar, maybe Inter's a top rehearsal for that in a way. And what I mean by that is I don't see Inter coming out and having a pop at us Wednesday night. The same way Arsenal probably won't come and have a run.
Well, here's the thing, Martin, yeah? Inter Milan, right? They're away at City, right? They're probably thinking about this and going, we'll take a point. Yeah, they've got in the group stage, after City, they play Red Star Belgrade at home. That should be 3 points. They play Young Boys away. That should be 3 points. They play Arsenal at home. They'll be hoping for at least a point because they're at home. Leipzig at home, again, hoping for a point. Leverkusen away, maybe that could be tough, but maybe they could get a point. And they play Sparta Prague and Monaco at home. So I think they're looking at this game and saying, listen, we don't have to win this game. We've got enough games in this group phase, which we should be winning. Yeah. If they can come to the City and get a point, I think they'll take that. I think they'll take it. I really, really do. So for me, I'm looking at this game and thinking, let's do what we've done before. Yeah. Let's have that Kovacic and Rodri midfield duo, which means that we're very solid because you've got 4 defenders and obviously the 2 midfielders, maybe 3 if Rico pushes in. And it probably will be a Rico pushing in to give us a 3rd midfielder and just give Phil Foden the free roll. You know what I mean? Get some minutes into Phil Foden's legs. Yeah. Let's be honest, yeah. Foden ain't starting the game against Arsenal, right? I know people want him to, he's not going to start against Arsenal. There's no way he's starting against Arsenal yet. It'll be Kevin De Bruyne. So what you need to do, therefore, is get Foden up to a standard where if we require him from the bench, he's not coming on mad cold. He's got some minutes into his legs. So this game for me for Inter Milan is to say to Foden, right, you're not at this level that we need you to be for the Arsenal game because he's not going to start Arsenal. No way. But at least if we need you off the bench, if Kev gets an injury or something, or we need a goal, that you're not coming on and you're just not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, for me, I'd go for this. I think this team is decent team. I think that could win the game. I'd be surprised if that loses the game. That's a pretty solid team.
And Inter Milan, I mean, you look at Inter Milan's last when they played at Monza, generally a back 5, and they had Pavard, Augusta, Di Marco, Darmian, De Vrij, is it? De Vrij, I don't want to pronounce the name wrong.
De Vrij, yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's sort of, and then they play the overlaps.
Yeah, Monza,
it depends what Inter Milan want to do. Do they want to come and be brave, or do they want to come and just, like you said, get the point, stuff it out a little bit? And
this was their team in the last game.
So I mean, Mkhitaryan's not got the legs he once had. Darmian done okay. I mean, let's be straight. Inter Milan, do you think the way Inter Milan played in the final against us is going to be any different?
Yeah, it's same manager, so similar style, won't it? You know what I mean? I imagine, unless they've completely changed their style.
Because they've won 2 and drawn 2. I
Yeah.
think, is that right? They're opening 4, 1-2. They beat Atalanta 4-0.
Yeah, I'll check now. Yeah, I've got it here.
Yeah.
Like
Sure,
Google
they've
decides
drawn
to put
2,
me.
1-2.
Right, so they drew the last game 1-1. They beat Atalanta 4-0. That's a good result, by the way. 4-0 against Atalanta. It's a very good result. Let's say they beat 2-0 and then they drew 2-2 to Genoa. So one thing I would say is they've scored 9 goals. 9 goals in 4 games is a decent outing. And Lautaro Martinez is a decent striker. He's underrated, Lautaro Martinez. Yeah. So I'm not going to... You what?
We nearly signed him as well, didn't we? We were looking at him quite strong.
Well, yeah, not surprised. He's a decent striker. I'm surprised no big English teams ever gone for him.
Surprised like an Arsenal have never...
I agree. I think he's a decent player.
I'd nabble at him.
No, I agree. I think he's a decent player. But yeah, looking at that, they've got obviously Dumfries on the bench as well that potentially might start.
Arnautovic, bloody hell, is he still going?
Marko Arnautovic, is that the same? Yeah, is he still in, bro?
Bloody hell, him and Xhaka. Can you imagine that? You probably want him and Xhaka to sign up. Remember when he nearly signed for United?
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, when you were South United.
That was deadline day stuff they were going.
That was a crazy time. But listen, I'm pretty confident for this week, man. You know what I mean? We're at home against Inter Milan. If it was away, could be a little difficult, but I think we'll get the job done. I do. I don't think we'll batter them. I think it'll be a close, tight game. You know what I mean? Cagey affair, because I just don't think. The thing is with this group stage, is it like there's 2 ways of looking at it. The first way of looking at it is saying, well, you've got 8 matches. So it's not a disaster, you know what I mean? Like, you can easily sort shit out if something goes wrong. The other point of looking at it is no one really knows how this first league phase is going to play out. Nobody really knows how many points you need to qualify for the top 8. You know what I mean? We could all do predictions, we can all do simulations, all that kind of stuff. But realistically, because it's the first year, we don't really know. You know what I mean? Like when it's the group stage of the Champions League, we all kind of knew that you get 10 points and you're pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah, it was generally get your 9 to 10 points, win your first 3 games generally, and then it was generally the kids out for the last 2 games.
Yeah, no, exactly. And again, we don't fully understand that if you don't finish top 8 and we get in that knockout round, like how much is that really going to impact us when it comes to those games?
Is there any difference between finishing first and 6th?
Nah, there is. Someone told me that there is. I fucking got it. What was it now? Someone told me what was it now? It's something like, if you finish top, you play like the lowest ranked team when you.
So is that how it goes? And then second play the next lowest?
I think so. Someone, because I said the same thing. I said, is there any point in winning the thing? Like, say you're 4th and you're pretty much done by match day 6. Could you just throw out the kids and just lose all the games and finish 6th or 7th? And someone said, nah, there is actually a thing. But I don't fully know how it works, man, because it's the first year.
And the problem is, like we said, because there's no drop down to the Europa League anymore, everyone's going to be going. The one thing I think Rich, I've said it on there before, Rich made a great point, and that was you're going to get the last 2 or 3 games meaning a lot more now in this group. Because people are going to be fighting and they're going to be doing goal difference, and you're going to be getting all sorts of really gun-ho games in that last 2 or 3 games.
Well, I'll tell you,
that team who are 9th and 10th, and they're fighting to get to the top 8.
I tell you what's pretty interesting about that, because that's a good point. Low key, you might actually want your best teams last, because if you have your best teams last and they've already finished 3rd, 4th, 5th, and they're guaranteed top 8, then they're probably chilling. What you actually want to avoid, right, is you probably want to avoid teams like Dortmund. Because I don't think Dortmund are going to be finishing top 4, top 5, but they'll probably be between 6th and 10th, won't they? They'll probably be in that area where they have to go ham for the last couple of games. Yeah, that's probably what you want.
Well, you look at ours, LB. Our fixtures are Inter Milan at home. Then we've got Bratislava away, Spartak Prague at home, Sporting away, Feyenoord at home, Juventus away is December.
Yeah.
Then because the December and January ones are the hard ones.
Yeah.
Because believe it or not, you've got nearly a month, by the way. You've got over a month. I think there's 5 weeks in between. Yeah. So you've got Juventus away, and then we go to PSG away.
Yeah.
So if you think about that, that's probably our 2 toughest away games
Yeah.
in the whole Champions League. To have Juventus, then PSG back to back.
Yeah. What I would say is though, hopefully
By
the
then we're in
time,
the top 8 and we've qualified.
hopefully by match day 7, we've kind of like locked it off. And you know, even worst case scenario, we've not locked it off. Basically, beat Bruges. Match
You've
day
got
8
Club
at home.
Bruges. You could slap Club Bruges if you needed. The only thing with that is, it's weird we've got Arsenal again straight after Club Bruges. So you're like, what the frig?
Yeah, no, that's
really
true.
That's
true,
like
yeah.
2 days later as well. That Arsenal game, I'm imagining, will get moved to the. Is that a Saturday one?
Yeah, that's
I'm they'll get moved to the Sunday.
Probably will. Sky. Yeah, I'd imagine it probably will. Nah, but you're right though. You're right that Bruges game, like that's probably good in the sense. It's the thing is with the Bruges, is like if you finish 9th to 24th, you're in this knockout round, right?
Yeah, you play.
So, as long as Bruges are not either fighting to get top 8 in that last game, which is unlikely. So as long as they're not like 10th and they could have got a chance of getting 8, or so long as they're not like 24th, 23rd, 22nd, or like 25th, and therefore fighting to stay in that zone, we kind of need Bruges, basically, cut a long story short, we need Bruges to be like 17th in the league.
Especially with that, I didn't realise we had frigging Chelsea 3 days after. PSG.
Exactly.
Who we got after Juventus?
Fucking.
Does someone not like us in this? Holy hell. How we lump these fixtures after the Champions?
At least we're at home. At least we're at home for the
I know, but we've got the derby, Chelsea and Arsenal after all our Champions League.
I know. Nah, but it is gonna be interesting, like how it all plays out and that. And,
no, because that's gonna real piss about with Pepsi 11 then.
Here's the truth. Hey, you want to know the truth? Here's the truth. Yeah, Bratislava, Sparta Praha, Sporting Lisbon. We have to win all 3 of them. And Feyenoord. We have to win all 4 of them. Yeah, we have to get maximum points. We have to get, if we get maximum points from them, and to be honest with you, like we should really be getting maximum points. We'll be on 12 points. Yeah. Like 12 points. Let's say, do you think we'll win tomorrow or on Wednesday? You think we're going to win on Wednesday?
Yeah. I mean,
okay, so let's say we beat Inter Milan. Yeah, that'd be 15 points. That'd be 15 points after match day 5. People are saying you need to get to like 19 points. I think that's a little high, man, personally. But say you need 19, that means what? You got to get 4 points from Juve away, PSG away, Bruges.
I think you've got to win 5 out. I think you've got, if you win 5 out your 8, you're through, I think.
Yeah, exactly. So for me, I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm underplaying the Inter Milan game. Like I say, the problem is no one really knows how important, like, how many points you need. We probably won't know this for another 3-4 years when we've got like data. Like we say, right, been 4 years now. This is the number that you need to get to.
No, it's brand new, and you're going to get some teams that will make errors. You know, you're going to get someone who is not quite understood where they're going, how, when, and where. Because you'll always get it. People made errors in the Champions League before, and we all remember Pellegrino going to Real Madrid thinking I only needed to get a bloody, what was it, a draw when we needed to win it or whatever it was.
Pellegrini? Nah, that was Bayern Munich when he didn't.
Was that what it was? It was one of them where he went and he thought we could do. We needed
one more goal. I think we needed one more goal, and instead of bringing Aguero, and he brought Jack Rodwell on.
Yeah, and he dicked around. And he admitted afterwards he messed around. Do you know the sad thing is about Wednesday night is that it's potential. I don't know if you noticed, Albert, there's shit tons of bloody tickets available yet. So it ain't going to be a full Etihad.
Well, bro, that's because they're fucking charging 50 quid a ticket, bro.
62, pal.
Oh, yeah, 62 quid. And Aston Villa are charging like £90, bro.
Yeah. There's a lot of tickets, especially at East Stand level 3. There's a good 1,000 tickets left.
People can't afford it, man. People can't afford, paying that much money for a league phase game. I'm not being funny. They can't afford it. Can't justify it, man. So they'll justify it and they'll say, "Oh, we'll take your feedback on board." But at the end of the day,
we'll take your feedback, but it won't be.
62 quid is crazy, bro. £62
Yeah, but that's for
for
an
league
adult.
phase.
I think if you're under 21 or got disabilities or you're an elderly person, it's a bit cheaper. But 62 is generally the adult.
The majority of people there are adults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the majority of people there can't afford 62 quid for a league phase game. They can't justify it. So, you know, that's their own fault, man. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day,
Especially with Arsenal, you got Arsenal Sunday and then Watford. I mean, the Watford one, I'll give it them. It cost me £7 on next Tuesday.
But what I don't understand about that is, right, why not just charge 40 quid for this game and then 25 for Watford or something like that? Why are you charging? It's like they just go over the extremes. They're charging 7 quid for Watford, but then £62 for Inter Milan. But that just makes no sense to me. Like, they're just Watford. How much is Watford for an adult then?
13.50.
I'm sorry. I just feel that's stupid. You're charging £13 for Watford and 62 for Inter Milan. Why don't you just charge 20 quid or 25 quid for Watford, which is still reasonable, and then charge like fucking 50 quid, which is still expensive in my opinion, but at least it just makes no sense. It's just like extremes, bro.
I've had a few DMs, someone coming down from Scotland and everything. And that's the thing, it's not just a ticket, it's the travelling, it's the hotel, it's and these hotels ain't stupid. They know when City are at home, prices go up. They're not stupid. Same as when anyone who's got Oasis tickets, you probably I tried to get an hotel in Cardiff. I was at $4,000 for 2 nights on booking.com.
Mad, isn't it?
$4,000 for 2 nights. I'm like, my God. So that's the way of the world, isn't it? Sadly, but no, I mean, for me, it could be worse. I mean, I didn't realise Arsenal were playing Thursday until I looked today. Thursday night.
That's another thing they've changed. So you got Champions League games now on
Thursday
Thursdays.
night.
Yeah, so I mean, Arsenal. To be fair, Arsenal fans moan all the time. Yeah, it does me head in. But I'll tell you what, they've got for real, man, for real. They've got a right to moan about that because they've been low key stitched up 3 away games in a row. Yeah, they've got to go to Atlanta, play that on a Thursday night, and then come to City on Sunday. I mean, that is. I mean, I'd be a bit frustrated if I was an Arsenal fan and Arsenal about that. But and I guess that's just when you're competing at this level, this is what you got to deal with, isn't it?
You got to get used to it because this is going to be the new form. This is going to be football. Moving forward. We're going to in about, I'd probably say 3 years. I think we'll have a game every night. But there will be a major game on every single day of the night.
Good, I'm game for that. I'm chill for that.
You just get. It'll be great for us and great for everyone else, but there'll be a game all the time.
Good. I'm happy for there to be a game every time. You know what I mean? Like sometimes the scheduling of games is a madness.
Do you know what's mad though? In 3 weeks, we've stopped again for bloody internationals, and then we do it again in November. That's what's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, that is mad. You know what I mean? But because the nation they've made. Nah, 100%, man. The more LB watch-alongs will be there. But the thing is, that Nations League, they're trying to make it out like this Nations League is like well important. And what they've done is, I didn't know this, but they've made it so if you like win it or top your group or something, you go into a playoff to get into the World Cup and the Euros, apparently. So what that means is that teams are going to start taking it seriously. Because that playoffs is just glorified friendlies, but it actually now has a legit thing at the end where you can.
Is that true, by the way, about UEFA threatening the UK government?
So basically, right. So what's happened is, right. I'm reading about this before. By the way, I've just listened to this podcast. Yeah, you need it's a sick podcast.
Is that lawyers one?
Yeah, this lawyer thing. You know these people who've been posting all the photos of our lawyers today. The lawyer, right? So it's like a law. It's like there it is, award-winning website and magazine with all the breaking stories.
The record listens today.
100%. So basically, these guys today have been like posting about City, right? And then they're not like football. Well, they are football fans, but they're not here to give us like a football opinion. They're here just to report on the legal side of it. So it's like a legal podcast. Like all solicitors probably listen to this shit. Yeah. Anyway, they've done a podcast. Obviously, they do podcasts, and this week they're speaking about how like lawyers are going to become like these major players in football now because of all the legal stuff and red tape and all the regulations. And with more regulation becomes.
So you end up with sports like football lawyers.
Basically, yeah, that's what they're talking about. And it's mad interesting, right? At the end of the podcast, the host, this woman, she goes, right, I'm going to ask you 2 questions. make a prediction about something that we spoke about today that you think is going to happen. So I was like, oh God, tell us we're going to be innocent, please. Tell us we're going to be innocent. And the guy goes, Super League will come back with better PR and it'll go through because the lawyers will force it through, which I thought was mad interesting because
I've always said it's coming back.
It will come back because the reason that failed was nothing to do with UEFA or because listen, there's
nothing to do with fans dancing outside a stadium.
No. Fans don't care about UEFA. Like, who's UEFA to? I don't care about UEFA. You know what I mean? I don't care about the Champions League in terms of that because UEFA's nothing to me. The reason they got it wrong, they got it massively wrong because fans cannot accept, if you finish in the top 4, that you don't go into the Champions League because that's not right. Yeah. So they need to sort that out. They also going to give all the games are going to be streamed for free. Yeah. So fans will be buzzing about that. They're also promising a £20 ticket cap. Yeah. For all tickets. So what they need to do, which we didn't do last time, is they didn't get the fans on side. If they can get the fans on side this time and say, listen, we're back. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to limit tickets to 20 quid. All games are going to be streamed live on YouTube or on our own platform, but you'll be able to watch every game for free. And all teams who finish top 4 in their league will go into the top league, and we're going to do it properly. Yeah, this time. Why would then fans reject that?
I said it all the time. I argue with everyone. Super League's never coming. It's a lot of bullshit. And then I watched the Glazers never sell. So why the Glazers only sold so much percent? And then I saw the Liverpool thing. Do you remember when FSG we're willing to sell, but only 33% or whatever it was? And I'm like, these American owners are now selling percentages off. They're not selling the whole kid caboodle. They're only selling a percentage.
Yeah.
And then I looked to what was going on with the so-called Gulf football clubs.
Yeah.
And this is what it's all about. This is why these Americans owners didn't want to leave. They weren't selling up. They know what's coming down the road. And what is going on for me within the Premier League right now, they made everyone turn into a red cartel versus you cartel. And what we've all done is slowly, we've all played the game. We've all fallen down the little rabbit hole, including me. And we've all believed it, that fans outside our stadiums with a little placket made all these billionaires go no, because little Johnny's got a sign there and he's telling me no, so I'll go along with that. It's coming. It's never been off the table. And I realised it, and I went, they're not selling because they know what's coming down the road.
It'll be here, and next time it happens,
and there's nothing we can do about it. And what it is because the Premier League is in now such a shit show, we're all going to go, Super League's a better idea now, because the Premier League don't know what they're doing anymore.
Well, the thing is,
the Premier League into shitness.
The thing is, you said then, there's nothing that we can do. What about if there's nothing that we want to do? What about if the Super League comes in, they sort everything out that they did wrong last time, and we go, you know what, that's actually a good idea?
Yeah, because that's what I'm saying, because they've made the Premier League so what's the word? They made the Premier League so unattractive now.
Yeah.
That even the people who wanted the Premier League, and they'll also, and for me, I think when City win these charges, it will come even more, because you know what they'll start with? Well, we can't do this. Look at now, City have won the Premier League now. So then that'll be another excuse.
Listen, for me, I think if the Super League comes back and they've got better PR this time, they need to. I tell you something, I've told you this before, chat, but I guarantee you, if this Super League comes back again and free game, all the games, because I think what happened on the games, right? What they're proposing is the Super League is that all games will be free, but you'll get ads like YouTube, and then if you want, you can pay like on YouTube Premium, like a figure a month, and you'll get rid of the ads. Right? That's how they're going to do it, And they reckon because of all the people watching it for free, basically as well, it gets rid of piracy. It gets rid of all online Champions League dodgy streams, because you won't need to go on the dodgy streams no more, because you can just watch it for free anyway. And because of all the ad revenue that they'll be able to generate from that, plus the subscriptions that people can pay to avoid the ads, it will make up the money anyway. But I'll tell you what happened, even if they do game stream for free, yeah, even if they do ticket prices capped at 20 quid, even if they do like it's based on sporting merit, so you only get in it if you finish in the top 4 of your league or whatever. They do it properly this time and not just say, oh, you can finish like fucking, I don't know, 12th in your league and still be there. As long as they do it properly, yeah, the fans should have no reason to not like this. But I tell you what will happen. TNT Sports, Sky Sports, Amazon, because it'll hurt them financially, yeah, they'll start telling you that this is a bad thing. Yeah, and this is where you've got to use your own brain and think for yourself. And listen, you might come to the conclusion that you don't want a Super League and you want UEFA, yeah. But I'm telling you now, the difference is when they tell you that the Super League is a bad thing, yeah, they're saying it because it hurts them, man. They're not saying it about you. If they say to you, you know what, we're going to give you all the games for free online, you can stream them all for free, yeah, all tickets are going to be capped at 20 quid. It's going to be based on sporting merit. What reason is this to be like massively against it?
Do you know what did it for me? You look, and this is way up. You look at WWE. They were on USA. They were on all these big cable things, yeah? They've just signed, alongside with UFC, £5.5 billion deal with Netflix. Now on Netflix, no adverts, no nothing. No age restrictions. Go with whatever you want. You can overrun sometimes even if you want. So you don't even have that time slot of 3 hours. You go with however long you can tend to go with. I'm telling you now, 5 years' time, the Premier League will be on Netflix. Or something like that. To the world.
Probably, yeah.
Because what they'll do is, because it's City versus, I know everyone's got, well, it was just the Champions League. Yeah, it was advertised as just the Champions League. But that's the starting point.
Yeah.
It then goes to other places. They're not just going to do it as just the Champions League. Because like I've always said, you can't be playing all these games midweek and then roll into your Premier League on a Saturday because you're just going to end up watering down your main leagues.
Yeah, no, but this is what I'm saying, isn't it? You know what I mean? Like if, and by the way, yeah, just let me address it. I'll come to the super chats in a sec, guys. Yeah. Let me just clarify, Fraser. I don't mean Amazon are going to be like not struggling financially, bro. My point is all the pundits on Amazon, all the pundits on Sky Sports, all the pundits on TNT, on ESPN in the States, on Peacock in the all these guys are going to be telling everyone that it's bad. Yeah, but the only reason they're going to tell you it's bad is because it's going to hurt their broadcast, their brand. Yeah, I mean TNT have the Champions League on their network right now. Yeah, so obviously they feel that that's good for them. They feel that makes them money or makes their profit or whatever. Yeah, if they lose that, all of a sudden they're going to be muddied because no one's going to be paying all the money for TNT when they've got one game a week on a Premier League. So people cancel it. It's going to hurt them financially. That's what I'm talking about. I don't mean that they'll struggle. You know, TNT, BT Sports, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's BT. They'll be fine financially. The point is, they will tell you it's bad, but they won't tell you it's bad because they legitimately believe it's bad. They'll tell you it's bad because it's going to hurt them financially.
Yeah, they're going to lose out. They're going to lose all.
They're going to lose out, bro.
They can't compete with an Amazon and a Netflix. They can't go into the building.
This thing as well, yeah. It's irrelevant about what I think. Saudi clubs are going to be in that Super League at some point.
Doesn't. Yes, even I realize that. You know how much I hated the Super League. You know how much I was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
But the fact is, there's nothing I can do because this is what it's going to.
The Saudis, yeah, that when the Super League gets going, they will eventually join the Super League. They will. Because they'll, even if they have to pay a fee to enter, they'll promise you. You know what I mean? Like when you realize, yeah, that literally, and I know it's like a cliche, but the world is just literally run around money. You have money, you get what you want, bruv. You know what I mean? And the Saudis will be in it, man, eventually. They'll probably wait for the league to, like, pick up the quality a little bit more because it's still early days. It's still in the infancy, yeah? But in, like, 10 years' time, when that league is starting to pop off a little bit and they're getting, like, young players coming through as well, they don't have to just buy everyone. You know what I mean? They'll get themselves in, man. They'll probably pay a fee.
You look at the last 2 windows, transfer-wise. The excitement's gone. It's dead.
Yeah.
No one's buying. The worst thing they could do now is nobody's buying. Everyone's stopped.
Well, Khaldoon warned of this in his end of years. Yeah, it's kind of mad, yeah, because like everyone obviously murks City, and I get it. I get you want to murk City, but like Karl literally said in his end of year like interview that he done, he said, "Yeah, these regulations are bad, and no one's going to be buying anyone." And look at it. Look at we just had a dead window, man. Liverpool bought one player. Arsenal spent what 60, 70 million net spend. City spent 25, and I think to be fair, City only spent 25 because we don't need to spend more money because no one else does anything. Newcastle can't spend. Villa are struggling to spend.
One of the biggest spenders was Brighton and Hove Albion.
Yeah, that's because they've been sat on about £400 million worth of cash because they've sold everyone.
Because they sold Caicedo and everything else.
Yeah.
And that's what. And the thing is, unless you're willing to sell your top players, or you're like a City and you've got money in the bank, you can't spend.
Ah, facts.
And it kills the product.
No, I agree.
It's not a, with all due respect, and where I'm a bit upset about it is, there are clubs, long-standing clubs with rich histories that are going to get left behind. Because with due respect, and I don't mean seeing any, because I don't agree with it, people abroad don't want to watch Nottingham Forest versus Burnley, with all due respect. That's the bit I'm upset about.
Well, then you know,
I know that's hard to say because Burnley and Forest especially have a massive history.
Yeah.
But they're not buying it for that. They're buying it for City United, City Arsenal, Arsenal Liverpool. They're buying it. That's why those games get the bigger rights and they have the bigger audiences. Nobody's going to get up, with due respect, to watch Ipswich Town versus Fulham. I know that sounds so arrogant and harsh, and that's the bit I don't like about it, is we are going to end up leaving some rich top teams with good fans behind, LB. We are going to end up leaving them behind.
But the thing is, though, yeah, this is where the Premier League has got itself into a mess with this whole FFP situation. I don't want to go into FFP again, but like,
no, but it all comes back to this. It all comes back.
Of course it does. Of course it does, because ultimately, if you stop clubs being able to spend money, yeah, then which is basically what they're doing, right? Is you're killing the competition. Do you get me? And owners are not going to be buying these clubs because they go to buy the clubs and go, well, if I buy the club, I can't spend any money because I can't get the revenue up. Because to get the revenue up, I need to invest. I can't invest because
liquid cash.
Yeah, got that liquid cash. So this is for me where I'm just kind of like, yeah, the league for me is eating itself up with these old rules. At the end of the day, I just think let people spend what they want to spend. Protect the clubs. Yeah, we're not going into this debate again, but protect the clubs with some sort of.
I think we've already lost our clubs. Listen. City aren't bothered if Martin Horsfield doesn't appear down on a Wednesday night anymore. They're not bothered about me. I know that's harsh, but even I know that they're not bothered.
No, of course they're not, because they're in.
Martin Horsfield's not going to get on a plane on a Wednesday and travel to Singapore or to Sydney or to wherever because they've got a job, and Beer can't do that. LB can't do that. They know people in the UK can't do that.
Nah, fact.
But they're not bothered about
let me go through some of these super chats, man. Big up to Harambots. It's the Matrix that set up all these fixtures. The FA and UEFA Matrix are trying to do us in, says Harambot. All this Matrix stuff. Big up, bro. Always for supporting. By the way, big up to Lee. Sorry, man. I only forgot to mention it. Lee going over the raid, man. Big up to Lee for the raid. Appreciate you, bro. LB says Arsenal have only conceded 3 goals away from home. Their defense is unreal. I think they've got the best defense in Europe.
City have only conceded 2 goals at home.
We got the second best.
I'm just trying to counter an argument back there, LB.
No. But
he is right, yeah.
No, I think it's. I think yeah. For me, I think they probably got the best defense in Europe, man. Like it moves mad, especially Timber, mate. He looked pretty good as well, to be honest with you. I think they've upgraded that left back spot now as well, and they've got covered Calafiori. Like that's a good signing.
Listen, Saliba and Gabriel for me are the best centre back partnership in Europe.
Yeah, I think so.
They've just got that connection. They've got it. And they're good.
The one thing that I would say is like I'm not saying like it makes any difference, but like we don't really have a back two partnership because we rotate all the time. That's the only thing I'd say about us. Like the only reason we can't really get involved is because we don't have the same two. We always change it up. So, but that's irrelevant to that point.
Like, to Arsenal.
Yeah, exactly. Big up to Tone says, "Hey guys, this is a prep show for Wild Friday. Yeah, man, we'll be back on Friday as well. It'll be a big show that because it'll be reviewing Inter Milan previewing Arsenal. So it'll be
Can't wait.
that'll
At an
be-
earlier time, everyone, 12 p.m.
Oh yeah, midday on that one. Bill to Paolo as well says in Brazil, all the Serie A, La Liga, Prem games are inside Disney Plus already. Yeah, that's the way it's going, man. That's the way it's going, bro. Do you know what I mean? And if this Super League comes back again and says, right, lads, this Super League, we've took on board your criticism. I've got to say, first of all, yeah, they fucked it up the first time. Yeah, they really ballsed it up. They were way too arrogant, man. Yeah, I mean, they should have got like people who knew football fans, when they were designing this thing, and then football fans could have said to him, like, that's not going to work. Fans are not going to accept that. Fans are not going to, they'll accept that. They're going to accept that. They didn't listen to fans. They didn't get fan opinions when they came in the first time. And the thing that killed them was the sporting aspects of it. The fact that you could finish like second or first even in your league and not go into the Premier competition. I mean, fans just weren't going to accept that. Do you get me? If they can come back and say, right, it's going to be a league. This is how it's going to work. It's going to be based on sporting merit. £20 ticket cap. All games free. Why would anyone be against that? Because the thing is, as well, you can't be like, oh yeah, but the history of the Champions League. The Champions League was changed. Like when was the Champions League changed? It was like the 70s, 80s, 90s. When was it changed into the Champions League from the European Cup?
Early 90s, wasn't it?
Was it 90s? I don't know. I've only ever known the Champions League.
When was it? Yeah, it wasn't sure it was early 90s.
Jack,
the Premier League changed in 1992 when the actual one came in. Like, because City were the first Monday Night Football.
There you go, 1992 apparently.
Thank you. I knew it was roughly about, because football started changing. There was a big kerfuffle late 80s, early 90s about the money and everything else that was coming in, and they wanted to change it all. And then the Premier League began, which was great at the beginning. It was, listen, when the Premier League first got going, that Monday Night Football against QPR, they brought the ball down on a parachute, and it was glitz and glamour. We had cheerleaders and all sorts.
Yeah.
It was all glitz and glamour.
Well, this is so people said no, because the Champions League, like the Champions League's not much history anyway. It's only been here, like 30 years. Before that, it was the European Cup. So it's not like it's been like this for 100 years, and then all of a sudden you change it. Everyone's like, whoa, this has been here for 100 years. You can't change it. It's been here for 30 years. Same as the Premier League.
Do you know what has always been the catalyst to change, though?
Money.
It's money.
Yeah, obviously.
And we're here again. 30 years later, we are bang here again, and the catalyst is money.
So here's the thing, yeah. Big up Liverpool Truth Channel, yeah. It says if Super League had to work, UEFA would be fecked, and it's why UEFA wanted the Super League idea to fail. It's also why the UEFA changed into a league, because what UEFA are trying to do here, UEFA have recognised that they don't control everything now, and they don't have the power that they once did, because they've seen what happened with the Super League. So what UEFA done is, UEFA obviously was buzzing when the Super League got cancelled and that, but they recognise that shit, we don't do something, this is going to come back again. They're not idiots. Yeah. So what they did is, right, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll basically make a Super League light. And that's what they've done. They've made Super League light. And what they're hoping now, UEFA, is that this current UEFA Champions League is not that different to the Super League. So therefore, it's not really worth going through the hassle of getting a Super League in. Because teams will go, oh, well, yeah, we might earn a bit more money, or this might be slightly different, but it's not really that different to the Champions League now, so we might as well just leave it and just stay in UEFA.
Why do you think the UEFA, I'm just looking at it now, are fighting the UK on their regulator?
So this is actually interesting, because I've read this. This is actually because the UK are being a bit stupid from what I've read. So the UK have basically put something in the sort of like provisional thing to say
to stop the Super League coming down the road.
No. It's nothing to do with that. It's fucking stupid. The UK are basically saying that if the regulator, has to take into consideration UK's trade relationship with other countries when making like decisions and how the league is branded. So UEFA are going, so you're politicising the league. Politicising football is against our principles. If you politicise football, you're not allowed according to our guidelines in the competitions. It's actually, to be fair, bro, I think the UEFA are probably right on this. UEFA are probably right on this because the UK.
Yeah, no, it is. It doesn't. It does talk about the Super League as well, because what they're saying is that, and I'll just get the wording of it. It's on the BBC website. The FA's exclusion from UEFA could also prevent English clubs as well as countries' national teams competing in European competitions, as well as moving to any sort of Super League. They're looking at it because this is why they were trying to say, is it King Charles would not allow you to just, because what they're saying is because what the UK regulator would say is, like I said earlier on about leaving the likes of Fulham, Ipswich behind. The UK regulator would say you can't do that. You can't just leave them behind and wreck us. Because what they're saying, because the UK regulator is trying to regulate everyone into it. It's trying to protect all clubs.
Well, yeah, that's what they're trying to do. Yeah,
and I think this is where, because I was all, oh yeah, great, we're gonna do it. Because I was always against it. Yeah, and they're also trying to say, yeah, the main thing is politics and football don't mix, and they shouldn't mix. But the trouble is, City wanted the white paper. City wanted a UK regulator in, because City have argued that the Premier League can't govern itself because it's too corrupt, basically.
Yeah, and no, City are probably right to say that, but the UK is trying to have this regulator take into consideration UK trade deals and shit when it's doing its fun. You can't do that.
Because I think that is part of football. You talked about, and I'm not trying to bring it the 115, look at Sheikh Mansour's relationship with the UK.
Yeah, but there's no
specific. There is links.
No, there's links, but there shouldn't be like an official. There shouldn't be like an official thing where it's like, oh yeah, when we're doing our regulation of the football, we've got to consider the UAE. No, it should be like, if Sheikh Mansour's fucked up, if Sheikh Mansour's committed fraud for City, we should be punished. He should be punished. Like, that's how it should be. You shouldn't be doing all this, and that's the problem.
But it will affect the trade deals with the UK as well, though. It will.
Well, that's what the regulation is basically saying. Like, you have to take in that into account, and that's why UEFA have said we don't like that, because that's politicizing football properly, not like actually in the chat saying about the flags and that, which is fair, but that's like.
But like sections, but there's no Russian owners anymore; they're all gone. That's what you could end up with. You might say, "Oh, golf investment should go then." They might all just pull the plug in. I think this is again why football and politics should not even mix. Because the trouble is, there are interests all over this place. There are.
Yeah, but that's because football's become big business.
What happens with Arsenal if you pull all the golf investment? That's their main sponsor gone.
Well, this is the point. This is the point I'm making. It's like, because football's now big business, it's worth billions and billions of pounds. Yeah,
we're trying to dictate where we can and can't take money from now.
Yeah, well, this for me is just why, like, at the end of the day, regulation causes fucking problems, mate. Yeah, I'll tell you that now. This is why when they brought this FFP in, it was always going to. I said it to you the other day when we did that stream. The first question that I asked you on that 115 stream that we did the other day was this 115 case inevitable and it was. When you bring in these regulations that prevent investment, yeah, it will cause issues. And it's not just me saying that. The fucking lawyers, go and listen to that podcast that I showed you before. The lawyers are literally saying it.
No, but like Big Steve talked about it, didn't he, ages ago? He said, when you run a business, the first thing you look at are your contacts. And your contacts are generally either someone in the business or family.
Yeah.
So, of course, you're going to use them. But the regulations are you can't use them. And the way the wording is on these regulations now, it's, for example, like City with Puma. The way that, and this is a really rough example, when you read the actual thing, if Sheikh Mansour's ever worn a Puma jacket, he's got a relation with them. So he's banned from, you know what? This is how silly.
I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
They're very anal and the trouble is they're too broad the way they made them now.
No, so I agree.
I want to be sponsored by Starbucks. Have you ever driven past the Starbucks where you've got a relation with them? This is how silly they are. They are so daft. It is unreal. And I think part of it with the UK is political, and I agree it shouldn't be, but there is. I also think it's because they're scared. They know the Premier League is coming to an end. But the trouble is, LB, there's only certain clubs within the Premier League people want.
Well, they're making the problem is they're making it come to the end quicker. But they think what they're doing is they think they're protecting it.
What about
wait a sec. Wait a sec.
Martin,
Martin, wait a sec here. Let me finish this point. They think what they're doing by bringing in all these rules is protecting everyone. When actually what it's doing is it's damaging the fucking thing because no one can spend any money and no one can compete. I'm not being funny here, right? But the current way, if City don't get relegated from this 115, wouldn't surprise me if we won the next 10 Premier Leagues in a row. Wouldn't surprise me. And that's not because City are doing some mad thing and spending loads of cash. We spent 25 mil. It's because teams can't spend. It's because Newcastle can't spend any money. It's because Villa are struggling to spend money. Do you get? It's even United. Even United.
No, I get it. I get it. I just.
But then, like our owner, our chairman, Karl Al Mubarak, one of the greatest people in football right now, is literally telling this to people in the end of. He literally said this in the interview at the end of the season. He said these rules are damaging the Premier League because teams can't spend money. And everyone just goes, oh, of course he'd say that because he wants to spend loads of money. If we wanted to spend money this summer, we could have spent money. We've not got no pre-SR problems. The point that he's making is it's damaging the product because other teams can't compete. And that's why I say it wouldn't surprise me if City just went on the next 10.
But the trouble is with the Super League, you're not going to compete because there'll be some teams that are allowed in it. This is what I think me and you are sort of saying the same thing, but in a different way. Because I think I'm at one end, you're at the other end. I'm looking at it from the other end. I know you're saying, well, let's everyone go. I don't think the Premier League will ever allow that now. I think it's gone too far. They're never going to pull it right back for nothing.
Yeah, but the problem is there, though, Martin, right? So what do they do? So let's just say, for example, City win this case, right? Nothing happens. We get a fine for non-cooperation, blah, 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 life goes on. And City win the next 5 Premier Leagues. Yeah? So that means what? We've won 9 Premier Leagues in a row.
I think the Premier League's coming to an end anyway.
Instead of listening to people like Karl, who's literally there telling them that you need to relax these rules so teams can spend money and therefore compete, i.e. Newcastle, which I know you've got your own grabs with, they'll go, no, we need to tighten the rules even more to stop Man City. And what they don't realise is these rules aren't stopping City anymore.
No, they're stopping themselves.
Exactly, this is the point that I'm making, but no one's listening.
I agree, and I know that, I know, but I'm looking a little bit further ahead on the. If you go down the Super League, what's the criteria getting in?
Well, this is the point I'm making. If they do the Super League again, they have to do it on sporting merit, which is where they went wrong last time, and that's the main reason. So what you mean is
the Premier League becomes like the Championship?
No, the Premier League stays. No, the Premier League. No, the Premier League stays as the Premier League, and the Super League. You're never going
to get the Super League and the Premier League mixing together. They won't allow it.
No, it doesn't mix. The Super League just takes over the Champions League, and that league phase, just becomes basically the Super League just takes over.
No, that's where I think it won't, because I don't think the Super League will become too big to then try and do a Premier League at the same time, because you can't do 38 games in a Champions League, in a Super League, and then 38 games in a Premier League.
No, but you don't do that. The Super League will be very similar to what the current Champions League is, but it won't be run by UEFA. It will be a completely different business model, which I said before.
How many teams are in now? How many teams are in the Champions League now?
36.
And we've got how many games?
8. Possibly 10 if you finish in the qualifying.
So if you kept the Super League as a 10-team league or 10-game league, I think you get away with it.
Yeah, which I think they'll do. That's what they'll do.
I don't think it will, because they're not going to buy the rights just for 10 games. Not the money they need.
No, but it's not 10 games, because you've got the knockout stages, bro. You've got the knockout stages. It's a league phase to get into the knockout. It's basically the same. Do you get me?
But then what happens with your national teams? Because you've naffed UEFA off.
What do you mean that happens with the national team? The national teams just stay the same, unless the Super League wants to start an international tournament as well.
No. I'm thinking UEFA are not just going to go quietly into the night and walk away.
Well, they've got no. If all the clubs turn around and say, "Soz UEFA, we're leaving. We're going to the Super League," what can they do?
No. Again, I agree with you. What I'm saying is the ones you leave behind that are going to kick the fuss. It's the ones you leave behind that will put the legal cases in.
Uh-huh.
Because not everyone's going to leave UEFA. So
I
you're
think-
back to the same problem you had last time.
No,
Who
no.
comes in, who doesn't?
I think if the main teams go, the rest follow.
That's what ASCAT. This is what I think will happen. UEFA will ban players who play in the Super League. That's what I think.
No. Because guess what happens then?
Go on, you're going to tell me no.
I'll tell you what'll happen. The lawyers will get involved again. This is what
I'm saying. We're going to end up doing lawyers and everything soon.
But bro, listen. This is literally. Look, I'm gonna show you the screen. Right. Look at what the name of this podcast is. You need to listen to this podcast, but listen to what the name of this is.
That's what I'm saying. You literally we're going to spend the lawyers. This
is the name of the podcast. Don't you understand? This is football now. It's lawyers, it's courtroom, it's suits, it's Harvey Specter, bro. That is where we're at.
So that's what I mean. We'll end up with lawyering up for the next 20 years. But you want me honest personal opinion? I don't think, and this is just me, I don't think the Premier League and the Super League will ever coexist together. I think they'll make the Super League too, because they'll want all eyes on the Super. If you're going to charge them 20 quid and you're going to pump millions upon billions of money into it, you're going to want that as your number one, as your superstar. Get round the world, look at us.
I think it will. I think it'll happen because the money's there.
And I don't think the Premier League or UEFA or the likes of a Nottingham Forest who won't get invited in are going to take all this down the court road.
No, but you're
where your lawyers are controlling football.
No. But again, Martin, I agree if it's an invitational only. The only way this happens is if the Super League, comes into this sport based off of footballing merit.
But Forest are still not getting in it.
Well, they're not getting in the Champions League now, so what's the difference?
No, at least they're in the Premier League.
But they'll still be in the Premier League. Because the Super League will just take over the Champions League.
Where do you play? What venues are you playing the Super League in? Are you just doing it as Europe then? So no Saudi clubs, no nothing.
Here's how I think it'll happen, right? The Super League will come in. All the big teams will join, and because of all the big teams will join, all the smaller teams will then join, and it'll basically just the Champions League just gets transferred to the Super League. And I think UEFA at that point, what do they do? Do they have their own competition for the teams that don't qualify for the Super League?
But it is a little bit weird. Okay, Jack, you look after yourselves on the back end. We are still in this situation where we're okay.
Yeah, but
you're not looking at what you've left behind.
But when you say, but we're talking about this, who are we leaving behind? If it's based off of sporting merit, which the current Champions League format is based off of sporting merit, who are we leaving behind? It's exactly the same thing.
Well, how do Newcastle getting it?
By finishing the top 4. By finishing the top 6, whatever the Super League rule is. If it's based off sporting merit, if the Super League is, you qualify for the Super League if you finish in the top 4, top 5. The problem is last time they didn't do that. Last time it was like, but
that's what the UK law is right now. They can't join another league.
Bro, I'm telling you, the lawyers will get
this is where the lawyers the lawyers have got to beat the King of England.
No. The lawyers will get rid of that trust.
What? The King of England? He knows a bit. The King of England. If
the top 6 clubs in this country, right, all take this to court, they'll win the case 100%. They will. You can't just force a club not to join a competition. Trust me, man. I'm telling you. You need to listen to that podcast, bro. It's unreal.
No, I will listen. I just think you for FIFA and everyone else are going to go quietly into the night. They're not going to do that.
No, don't. No, I never said that once.
They're not going to walk away.
No, bro. No, please don't. Please don't think I'm trying to say, the Super League's going to take over and UEFA are going to be like, all right, no problem, lads. It was good. Well, we had you.
So
I think it'll be illegal. I think some sort. Look there.
Back again. Are you getting sponsored by these?
I'm telling you, man. Yeah, what's going to happen is this is going to be tied up in the courts. But my point is, I think come the end of it, the Super League will out, and the Super League will be successful.
Well, all right. Who's the biggest revenue maker? The Premier League or the Super League? Because right now the Premier League makes more money than the Champions League, I believe. TV rights and all this other stuff.
I think the Super League will make dough.
Premier League ain't going to allow that.
When you say allow it, what do you mean allow it? How can they not? They've got nothing to. They can't not allow
This is what the Premier League was set for. We
But
are the number one. They're not going to relax to number 2.
But how did the Premier League stop it from happening?
What I'm saying is they won't be allowed to go into it. This is what they'll try and stop. The Premier League will try and stop it.
And I'm telling you, I think come the end of it.
So we've got another legal battle with the Premier League.
Yeah, yes, bro. 100%.
Anyway,
look at this, bro.
So what you're saying is for the next 10 years, everyone's at war with each other. Everyone's lining up and everyone's in a courtroom.
Yes. That's exactly what I'm saying.
Bollocks to the football now.
No, bro. Bro, to answer your question directly, yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. I think in the next years, I think there's going to be so many court cases, so many legal battles about where football is held, who runs football. People just because what the clubs are saying is who gives UEFA this divine right of hosting the competition. If the clubs are the ones that are entering the competition, right? Who gives UEFA that divine right to say UEFA are the ones that own the Champions League? The clubs are saying, well, hang on a minute.
Oh, yeah. I think where the problem comes is if they do the Super League the way they did it, you remember when they had the brand new format and they did the gold and it looked like some uni student had just put it together as a project overnight. And was it gold, silver, bronze, and all these other stuff?
Yeah.
And then you got an argument of, well, do you know who we are? We should be in gold. Well, how do you get to space? How do you get to silver? And how do you get? And you're going to end up fighting that gaff.
No. But I'm telling that's because they didn't have sporting merit last time. They fucked up with that one. They're going to have to make sure that it is done properly.
No. The revamped one they looked at. You remember it was about a year ago.
Yeah.
The original one because that did have relegation and in and out and everything else.
Yeah, I don't think the regulator. I think if the clubs want it, the clubs will get it through. I just do. And someone said then, what, the Premier League clubs will ban the clubs that join it? Are you having a laugh?
But this is what the Premier League have said at the moment. That's what they have said, LB.
And do you think that they do that?
No, what I'm saying is, I think people are not just going to allow the Super League and the Premier League to run side by side and all happy days.
I think in the end, the Premier League will try and stop the Super League. You're spot on there. But I think if the clubs want it, the clubs will get it. And to say that
the Premier League wants to be the money man. They want to be the money.
Of course they do. I completely understand that. But to say that the Premier League would ban the clubs who join the Super League, that's just farcical. You think the Premier League are going to ban City, Liverpool, Man United, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea?
Fair, look at the big fight with BN Sport. It's all about the bottom line. It's all about who has the more money and the more ranks, and because everyone wants to be top dog.
Bro, but this is just never going to happen, is it? This is just never going to happen, bro. This is never going to. You think the Premier League are going to ban Man United?
No. I don't think the Premier League will. I think UEFA will try and stop that. That'll be a threat that'll come from UEFA.
UEFA are going to do what?
They'll say you can't represent your country. You'll lose your license.
No, they won't. I'll tell you why they won't do that, bro. It's because then all the sponsors will be like, well, hang on a minute. So Kevin De Bruyne's not going to be at the Euros.
But they're losing the sponsors. No, you're not getting the point. You're losing the sponsors.
They're losing the sponsors for the sponsors. No. They're losing the sponsors for the Champions League. They've not lost it for the Nations League and the Euros. I'll tell you what. One way to lose the sponsors for them competitions, is if you say that Erling Haaland's not allowed to be there, Kevin De Bruyne's not allowed to be there. Yeah, all the best European players are not allowed to be there because they're in the Super League.
Why don't I think? Because I don't think it'll just be the Super League will not just be a European thing.
Yeah, but
that's what I'm saying. And you're not going to be able to go. And trust me, hang on, Abby, you're going to be playing it in America. You're not going to travel to. Listen, you're not going to travel to America Wednesday night, train because they'll have to go Tuesday for the jet lag. So they might even have to go Monday, jet lagged, train. Play, jet lag back, then roll out a day later to play Premier League.
I think you're spot on. I think in the end, I think it'd start off as the Europe.
Mate, it took me a week to get over the jet lag.
Bro, I think you're spot on.
You're going to say I'm not an athlete.
It would start. No. I think it would start off as a Europe thing to get it in, get it through the door, and then years later, it would become a global thing.
All right. Say we go and play in Sydney, Australia. It takes nearly a day to get there.
Yeah.
You're only 7 days in a week.
No, I know, but
we're climatized to weather. Bro, it's not.
We're playing Arsenal Tuesday. We're playing Arsenal on Sunday. We play Watford on Tuesday. This is already.
They're both at the Etihad. They're going on to their own bed.
But the point is, we've already got this. We've already got this clash.
Not traveling around the world, we don't.
No, I know, but I'm telling you that will happen. You saying it's a madness? I agree, it's a madness.
But
Don't
right
mean it
now,
won't
we've
happen.
got to have so many days rest in between games.
One day.
That's the rule in the FA book.
One day, clearly. Because we've got Arsenal a day off.
That depends on age. No, if they're under a certain age, they've got to have 48 hours. Depends on their age as well.
Okay, but the fact is, you can have one day off and play another game, as evidenced by Sunday, Tuesday. I'm not disagreeing with you, by the way. I'm just saying you're trying to say that it's not going to happen because it's crazy. I'm saying it's crazy, but it still happened because the money will be there, bro. The players.
No, and I don't mean for the fans, Infidel. I don't mean for the fans. I'm talking for the players' safety and their own thing.
The players moan about stuff like that until they get the cash.
Unless everyone buys a private jet and you all private jet it around the world and get,
which they probably will do.
You have to do.
And I'm
sponsors for a jet
because you're going to get more money through the Super League. Yeah, that's what they're saying. They say it'll earn more money through the Super League than it does through the Champions League. The players will get paid more. Well, that's one way to shut the players up. Is say, "Don't worry, we're going to pay you extra money."
I mean, just imagine though. You go to America, there's a lightning storm. The game gets delayed a day. Can't get back for your Premier League game because you've had a plane delay or the weather delay.
Yeah.
LB's, you're playing it internally.
Because the thing is, it sounds stupid, but it is stupid. But I think that's the way it's going to go.
I think that's what it is to me.
Did you not hear Gary Cook before? Have you heard Gary Cook, who's now working at Birmingham, who said he wants Birmingham to play fixtures in America? The former City CEO or chairman or whatever.
Yes, because Birmingham don't play midweek.
No, but that's not the point. The point I'm making is every day someone else is coming out saying we need to play games in America.
No. I agree with you. I 1000% agree. It will come. I think it'll come sooner than people realise. My debate is I don't think they'll be able to run the Premier League alongside the Super League. I think people are being a bit naive if they think it's just transferred from Champions League and it becomes Super League. I think you're being a bit naive. Because it's going to be much bigger, a lot more intense. It won't just be around Europe. You said they're going to want to bring Saudi clubs in.
Eventually.
They're going to want to bring Celtic Rangers in. This is going to get huge and it will become a bigger thing. And it will take over the Premier League. And that's where the Premier League will kick back. Because the Premier League at the minute wants to be the number one. The biggest earners, the biggest sponsorship, the biggest everything. They will not like being number two. And that's where I think the kickback will come.
But the thing is, you're saying this, right? If you actually look at the format last time, right? Look at the
Someone
format.
just said they'll use a Concorde. There is no Concorde anymore. There is no Concorde anymore, thanks to the France. Well, sadly, due to the France share.
1 sec. 18 games. Right, here you go. So look at this, right? Each year, the competition would see the team split up into two groups, right? Two groups of 10, playing home and away games in a double round robin format for 18 group games per team, right? With fixtures set to take place midweek, avoid disrupting the club's involvement in domestic leagues. So straight away, bro, the Super League is saying, nah, this is going to run side by side with the domestic leagues, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Super League think you're right and there's too many games, reduce the amount of teams that are in the competition.
No, you're not getting. It's the Premier League who said they wouldn't run side by side.
I don't think the Premier League got a chance. The Premier League got a choice.
I've already said it. It's in the books. It's in the rule book now.
And I think the lawyers will get
that already lined up and done.
The lawyers will get that removed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's the Super League. It's the Premier League who have said it will not run by side. The Premier League have said it won't.
I think if all the top teams in this country decide that they want this, it's happening. I think there'll be too much money that the clubs will throw at it. You imagine 6 English clubs all take the Premier League to court with all the money that they could throw at the legal case. You think the Premier League's got a chance? No, I don't think they've got a chance in that. I don't see what legal grounds would they have.
My big thing is it's who you leave behind. It's who you leave behind where I feel sorry for.
And that's why
that does kill the dream dead. Then the dream is over for a lot.
That's why it has to be based off sporting merit. You can't just have it where if you finish first in your Premier League, oh sorry, you're not special enough to come into our club. I think that's where it'll fall down again if they do that again. That's where it fell down
Yeah.
last time.
And don't get me wrong, people. I'm not saying I know. Listen, the fans, they don't care about the fans. I know that. Talking about the players playing on a Wednesday in Sydney and getting back to Manchester for a Saturday. It's not going to be that easy to get that done because they're going to have to go over and acclimatise.
Yeah. And by the way, at this moment in time, there's also no plans to play games in Sydney. It is currently a European Super League.
Yeah, but that's why they're talking about games in America.
I think at some point it probably would happen.
It's going to go. It'll go everywhere. Singapore, Australia.
Yeah, but at this moment in time, it is only to be played in Europe, and that's how they'll get it through. They'll get it through the door by saying, "Don't worry, it's only European only. Don't worry, this, don't worry." And as soon as it's through the door and they've got control, bang, they'll say, "Right, you know what? We're going to play a game in Saudi. We're going to play a game in there. We're going to do this and that."
I mean, saying this, I will be honest with you. The Super League is only doing what the Premier League said they were going to do. Premier League in 1992 promised all these rules and we were going to make the big thing. And listen, this is why people have seen it before. The Premier League we're not going to ruin anything. We're not after making the money. It was all about making the money and they killed the EFL. And that's why the gap between the two is huge now.
Yeah, 100%. And
I know they always start out with the best intentions, but you never learn about the Premier League was always about being the best. And we talked about this. You remember we used to joke, didn't we, years ago, oh, there'll never be a £1 million a week player. Who's going to be the first £50 million player? And it's just gone up. And personally, for me, I think the Premier League and football in general is slowly eating itself alive.
Yeah.
It's got to a certain level that could never be continued forever. Yeah. Because it used to be where a Jack Walker could come in with 20 million quid and win a Premier League, 50 million quid. 50 million quid now doesn't win your bloody bingo game anymore. You've got to be a multi-billionaire.
Yeah, but it's just inflation, isn't it? It's just inflation, bro. It's the same. The principle is still the same. It's just inflation. Like, you can still do what Jack Walker did.
Done like that.
What?
I don't think football's always followed the inflation. I think it's been a little bit behind.
No, but it's still a thing, though, isn't it? You know what I mean? And like, if you want to do what Blackburn did, you can. City did it. If you want to do what City did, you can. Newcastle can do it. It's just the money becomes more and more and more. But the fundamental thing is, if you spend enough money, you'll probably win some shit. I mean, look at Chelsea. Look at how bad they've been ran over the last couple of years. They still got to, 2 finals? Still could have had 2 trophies, despite how badly they've been run. Why? Because it's 1.5 billion quid.
My whole point is, people are saying the Premier League was never going to... The Super League was never to replace the Premier League. That's why the Premier League put the brakes on it. If the Premier League weren't scared about it, or they had no thoughts about it, they wouldn't have gone to the King to put it in as one of his... what they call when they signed things into acts.
Yeah, no, but I get what you're saying. But at the end of the day,
well, that's what I mean. There was no fear of that. They wouldn't have been bothered by it. They'd have just gone, fine, you fight with UEFA. We're okay. They didn't. They went out and they went, no, you can't go.
Yeah, no, I hear that, but I think when push comes to shove, do they really have a legal ground for that? I mean, again, it comes back to what.
King of England.
But the clubs will take it to court. Well, the point that they're making, the clubs, is, who are UEFA to have this divine right of running the European competition? Why can't someone else run the European competition? That's what they're arguing.
I don't think the Premier League trusts that it is just the European competition, if you want me to be blunt.
No, and I agree. I don't think it will be.
I don't think they believe it's just to replace the Champions League. I think they think like me. There's a longer game plan coming here.
And they're probably right.
The Premier League are like, you're eventually going to take us over. And that's why the Premier League are like, no, you're not doing that.
Probably right.
No, exactly. You just said probably right. So that's
because I agree with everything that you're saying. But the point is, I still don't think you'll be able to stop it. I don't think you're going to be able to stop it. And that's why I'm not just saying it me. I'm saying that these solicitors are saying it. The lawyers are saying this is where they think it's going to happen.
But that's where I feel sorry for the lower league clubs.
If it's based off of merit, Martin, this is the whole point. It's not going to get through if it's not based off of merit.
But even on merit, it's still going to be the same clubs in there.
But it's the same clubs now in the
So,
Champions
so
League.
what's it changing?
It's the business model that change. It's the actual business model that
Last week you
changes.
told me you wanted the chance of Fulham's dream. You've just killed Fulham's dream.
Oh
You
my
wanted
God, bro! I'm
Fulham's
not killing
dream.
Fulham's dream. If they finish in the top 4, they can be in the Super League.
Look, everyone's going, the
Difference.
Premier League still exists. You're not getting it. No one's understanding it. The Premier League wouldn't have banned this if they didn't believe that. Why? Again, I'm going to ask people in the chat, Ipswich and everyone else, tell me why the Premier League went, you are not allowed to go to the Super League. Why did they put the ban
Because
on
it would damage the Premier League.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
But bro, you don't understand what I'm saying. Because I hear what you're saying loud and clear. My point is, there's fuck all they can do about it.
Well, there's fuck all. We just move on then, away we roll.
And I think that's what'll happen. I think this will end up in the courts, and in the end, the courts will say, hang on a minute, yeah. What right do UEFA have to run this competition? Why can't someone else run the competition? If I wanted to start a European competition tomorrow and all the teams was like, yeah, we want to join yours, why should they have to stay with UEFA? That's what the clubs are saying. And I think it's a very reasonable question. What does give UEFA the right to host the competition? Why can't someone else host it? That's all the clubs are saying. All the clubs, when you break it down simply, all the Premier League clubs and Real Madrid and all they're saying is, listen, we still want to play in our leagues. Yeah, all we want to do is we don't want to be in a European competition that's run by UEFA anymore. We want to be in one that's run by ourselves. Seems a very reasonable thing to say. Now, whether you agree with the principle or whatever, that's up to you. But when you actually boil it down to its simple facts, it's a very reasonable thing to say. Who gives UEFA that divine right to host a competition? You know?
Yeah, and that's the trouble. Is this is the problem.
It's a funny comment, that, bro. Premier League can't even beat Leicester in court, but all these people think that if City, United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea take them to court, that they'll all lose. Come on, man.
No. Yeah, and that's fine. I get that, and they'll all go. I'm just saying. I know the top clubs will go. I'm not disputing that one. I'm just saying the reason I don't like the Super League is because you are leaving everyone else behind. I still want to be in a league where I'm playing the FA Cups and the League Cups, and all that will go. Because that's one thing that will go. You're going to lose the FA Cup and the League Cup.
No, I think the League Cup would go. I think the FA Cup would stay. Most fans don't even care about the fucking League Cup anyway. You speak to Arsenal.
Hey, I do. Shit. I love the League Cup.
I like it as well.
Come on.
I like it as well, but you speak to United fans, you speak to Arsenal fans, they don't give a shit. So I think the League Cup would go. I think the FA Cup would stay the same. No, bro. The thing is, Judge, yeah, you're just not open to you're closed-minded, bro. Because I've explained it so many times.
He cared about the clubs behind the top 6 last Friday. He doesn't care anymore,
bro. It's based off of merit. If you finish in the top, I don't know how many times I have to explain this.
It's Fulham aren't going to finish in the top 6.
Are they going to finish in the top 6 now?
No. So
what's the difference? What's the difference if they're not going to finish? Oh my God,
fighting for them on Friday.
If they're not going to finish in the top 6 now, and they're not going to finish in the top 6 when there's a Super League, what is the difference? It's the same shit.
Admit then you don't really want to fight for them anymore. You wanted a competitive league on Friday, right or wrong?
Yes.
Right, but you've just said 30 seconds in. People have a go at me. You've just contradicted yourself and not realised it.
Bro, I trust, man. Bro, please join the stream. Trust and help me out here, man. It's no different, Martin. It's still based on merit. And then you keep on saying
you want them to have a go.
Yes, I do. And I want them to have a go now. I want them to have a go if there's a Super League. There's no difference. If they finish in the top 4 now, they get Champions League. I want it to be where if you finish in the top 4 when there's a Super League, you get Super League. The same shit. It's just a different competition run by different people.
Just keep football the frigging same. Well, because you got to change it.
I tell you why. You answered the question before. Moolah,
Yeah,
cash
no.
money,
Stop being
Wongo.
greedy bastards.
Oh man, you're a funny guy, you know.
Iptrus, listen, you can go on all you want, mate. You're not getting the point. You're not getting what I'm saying.
No, don't do
Again,
it again.
I will
Don't do
say
it again.
this again. The Premier League have put a rule in to stop the Super League.
And it'll be wiped out in court. No,
That is a rule put in.
it'll be wiped out.
If it was just a switch from the Champions League to the Super League, why would the Premier League be scared of it?
Because the Super League would become maybe more not more entertaining, but more of a spectacle than the Premier League. So the Premier League would be damaged.
That's my point.
No, I know, bro. I've understood your pod for the last hour. The point I'm making is,
no wonder your dad says we argue.
Bro,
by the way, my other half knows LB's dad, so apparently we argue all the time.
Bro, my point is not that I'm fully aware that the Super League damages the Premier League. My point is, unlucky, mate. There's nothing that they can do about it. I don't think there is anything they can do about it.
Unlucky, tough shit. Get back in your box.
Tough shit, mate. That's my point. And by the way, no, because the thing is as well, right? Yeah, that's not how the ones wanting the Super League want it to be. As I've said multiple times, Judge, I only think the Super League goes through if it's based off of merit. If it's not based off of merit, it won't go through. But they're now coming back and saying that they're gonna redo how you get into the Super League. I agree. I think if the Super League comes back and it's not based off of merit, it's not happening. But if it's based off of merit, it'll happen. Because they've got.
Listen, I understand what Martin Tabadri like is saying. That was the rule to allow the Super League because it went to court and he said you can do it. Yeah, you can do the Super League. I know that. The Premier League, I put a law in, a rule to say if you leave the Premier League, because what they're saying is you can't be a member of the Premier League and a member of the Super League. So what the Premier League said was, for you to join the Super League, that's fine, legally, spot on. Got put in court, you can do it. They're saying you've got to resign from the Premier League.
Right. And
that's what the Premier League have said. I hear
that.
9, 10, and 16, that's what they are saying.
So I fully understand what you're saying. My view on that is that the Premier League clubs sue the Premier League and they get.
No, that's what I mean. You'll end up in a big court fiasco anyway. So that's what I'm just trying to explain to you. It's not about what's right or wrong. I'm not saying what's right or wrong. The rule is right now, the Premier League is saying you have to resign from the Premier League to join any kind of another league.
And I think the Premier League gets sued by the big six clubs and the Premier League loses. Because what legal grounds do they have to do that?
And again, that's something for the lawyers to go down the road. I
just don't see, like, how can the Premier League dictate what European competition you're in? The Premier League clubs want to be in UEFA's competition, fair. If the Premier League want to be in the Super League, fair. Like, what's the Premier League got to do with it?
I mean, this even got talked about in the Houses of Parliament, didn't it?
Yeah.
And this is the thing. I know people, clubs will come together with the lawyers. I get that. But you are still fighting the rules and the regulations of the United Kingdom. This is not a football rule. This is a United Kingdom. It was signed into decree by the King of England. This is not just this.
Also, why do you suddenly care about these clubs when you didn't care about them the other day?
Well, you didn't care about. No, I got in trouble the other day because I didn't care about them. No, I do care about them, but I don't care about them to go. But I just don't want them to go above us. There's the difference. That's what I said the other day. I don't want them above us.
You're a Madridista. You're a Madridista.
Yeah, damn right.
Forever.
I'm an elitist now. Do you know, Manchester City elite? Let's go. No. The sad thing is, I never thought in 2024 we'd be sat here where the frigging King of England was getting involved with football. Like, my God, he's got bigger things to deal with in the UK than this. And you know that yourself. You live in the UK and there's bigger problems than a frigging Super League or Premier League.
Money, mate.
What the frig's happened in 2024 now?
Baraka says, as a regular watcher of suits, I'd say the big six clubs would win the case against the Premier League if they sued. Facts, bro. 100%.
It is a question. I know, way off. Do you think the Super League eventually is to become a new Premier League long term?
I think they might want to make that happen. I don't think that ever happens. I think we'll always have national leagues.
You know what I mean, don't you? So, like, you can have your... So, like, the Premier League...
You're talking about, like, these clubs actually leaving the Premier League.
Yeah, do you remember... I
don't think that would ever happen, personally.
Well, how many years ago was it when they were talking Premier League 1, Premier League 2? Do you remember when that...
Yeah. Nah, I don't think that ever happens.
And I'm just asking a question on that.
No. I don't think that ever happens. I don't think... The thing is, again, yeah, that they need to keep the fans on side. And you don't have your fans on side.
They give a top tit about the fans.
Well, no, they do. Well, no, you do get the fans on side when you're trying to make a change. When you're trying to make a change, that's when you
manipulate it for 3 years like they've done here.
Facts, 100%. You manipulate people, right? But ultimately, by manipulating them, you care about them for a little bit, right? So I think that, like I say, the reason that the Super League failed last time is because the fans were not happy with it. The fans protested, everyone left. If you bring it in again, right, and this time you address the concerns of the fans, and the fans suddenly say, well, what problems have I got with this new Super League? They go, I've got no problems with it. Well, I'm not going to protest it. I'm not caring. It'll go through. Once it's in, it's easier to get shit done, innit? Yeah, as we've seen with the whole... By the way, UEFA did this, by the way, with this whole fifth place coefficient thing. Oh, you know, the top 2 leagues in Europe on a coefficient, the 5th club in that league will get an extra spot, right? They just put that through the back door. Yeah, no one cared about it.
And now it's just a thing all of a sudden.
And now it's just a thing. Yeah. So what will probably happen is the Super League will probably go through. It'll probably be based off merit initially because I don't think they'll get it through otherwise. If it's not based on merit, it won't go through. They'll do this whole £20 ticket price. They'll do the whole streaming's free. It'll be in for a few years, and then they'll start changing shit real quick.
That's what I'm saying. It'll start going very different.
Yeah, but one thing that I don't think. Yeah, so for example, the easy changes would just be after a couple of years getting rid of the free streaming. Yeah, just get rid of that. Everyone's got to pay a £5 a month or something, right? After that, ticket price is now going to be 35 quid instead of 20 quid.
Do you know what it is with me?
Easy change. No, I don't think an easy change would be to say, right, clubs are not going to start playing National League football. I don't think that's ever going to happen.
Going back to what I said on Friday, and people were a bit upset. You know what it is with me? I'm a bit unsettled about getting into bed. I'd rather the devil you know than the devil you don't. And do I get into bed with something run by Real Madrid and Barcelona and United and Arsenal? Do I get into bed with them? And it's a little bit, if you can't beat them, join them. And that's why I'm a little bit against it, because I wouldn't trust we'd ever get a fair shake in the Super League. Don't think we'd ever get a fair shake. Unless they're totally going to do a 180 on us and suddenly get us on side and become our best friend. Because now you're not talking the likes of Newcastle or Villa. You're talking literally getting into bed with Arsenal, Tottenham, United, Liverpool.
The problem is...
Can I ever trust them?
The problem is, but the problem is, Martin, if the other teams join, we have to join, which is what happened last time. We were the last ones to join and the first ones out.
Yeah, I suppose that's what it is with me a little bit. It is, I'm waiting for when the knife goes in my back from them a little bit.
Yeah, no, and by the way, that's 100% like a legitimate concern.
With UEFA, we beat them. We beat UEFA.
If Real Madrid, Barca, Bayern, PSG, and all the other English teams go in, the club has not a lot of choice other than to join. Because they'll have to join because they'll need the money, they'll need the sponsorship revenues, they'll need.
What we're saying is, doesn't matter where City go, we just hate it.
Yeah, exactly. And bro, do I want the Super League? I'm not really for or against the Super League. My point is, I think it's going to happen at some point. I'm not for or against it. I don't really care. You know what I mean? But
what he's saying is he's not getting a choice in the matter.
Yeah, but my whole point on this whole conversation is not that I'm for the Super League. I'm not against. I don't give a shit really. Yeah, my only thing is it's got to be based on merit, right? My own personal thing, and irrelevant to all that is, I think it's going to happen eventually. I do, because I think money talks. And again, you know what I mean? I think the Premier League can put whatever rules it wants in its rule book. If the rules are unlawful, the rules will get removed, as per the associated party transaction case, which they had in their rule book. City took them to arbitration, and by all accounts, they've had some success with that. So just because you put something in the rule book doesn't mean that it's legit. You know what I mean? Rules can be unlawful.
No, it's all about money. It's all about and as much as we will all be spun, we'll get a vote. It's like, listen, I got a vote on the give me an example. I got a vote on the stadium extension, yeah?
All right.
You know, when these, would you like this? I know 1000% that was just all BS. It was already agreed before we even got to our vote. I know that.
Probably was, yeah.
So what I'm saying is sometimes they're just giving you a vote because it's what they call
pretend like you're involved.
Through the business, because they've got a tick box exercise they've got to get through.
Of course.
Because I know for a fact, I spoke to one of the builders down there where the cabins were, and he said it's already been agreed. That's coming down on Monday.
Uh-huh.
I went, it's not even been voted yet. The voting's open for another 4 days. He went, well, that's been knocked down on Monday. It's already been agreed. The contractors are in.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when I clicked. This is just a box ticking exercise.
It probably is. You think they're not? You think they're going to put off a multi-hundred-million-pound renovation of the stadium because a couple of fans say, "Oh, you know what? I'd rather just keep the stadium at 52,000."
Like I said, remember the Co-op Live? We're never going to class the events with the City game.
Yeah,
of course you're going to. That's why you're building it. Not stupid. So don't believe these fans get a say. You get a say. You're allowed a say. Yeah. Your say will never decide.
You said it before. What is it? Manipulation.
Yeah, and personally, I think we've all been manipulated for 3 years. This whole thing in the Premier League has been a master plan.
What whole thing in the Premier League?
All this about not being able to spend and blame this team and blame that team. And everyone's eyes off the ball because it's all been on Manchester City for the last.
I know, but bro, I don't think that's manipulation. I just think that's downright incompetence.
Some will say manipulation, some will say, bad management, some will say cunning. I suppose it's which end you're looking at it.
I think it's just incompetence by the Premier League who keep on going down this financial fair play route thinking it's the answer, when actually the answer is to allow free competition.
Yeah, the answer's BS. Anyway, I'm going to shoot now because I've got to go and get ready for my show at 9:30.
All right, mate. No worries.
We're talking Main Road. We're talking the worst players ever to grace the Main Road pitch.
Oh, nice. That'd be interesting watch. I don't know how we managed to get onto that conversation, by the way. How did we get onto that? We were meant to be speaking about Inter Milan and Arsenal.
I think, no, it's because we started about Inter Milan, someone mentioned about this.
Who started this conversation, man? We spent an hour and 45 minutes speaking about this.
Mate, I'm going to end up getting the shit. Don't worry. I always do in the comments after. And someone comes in, why'd you get this Martin lad on? Talks out of his ass. Ban him. I'm like, what?
I'm going to have to change the name of the stream, man, because we didn't even speak about Arsenal.
I end up getting cooked in the comments. And sometimes I'm like, I don't even know if it's said what people are saying I've done.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. All right, man. Well, enjoy your show.
That was it, because you kept plugging your bloody lawyer stream. Your lawyer podcast, like you've got a 3-year sponsorship deal with them.
Don't blame me. No, I would listen to it though. It's pretty interesting.
Send me the link. I need to listen to it because I
retweeted it before. Go on the Twitter.
I find things like that really, really interesting.
Yeah, it was good. They were speaking about obviously the solicitors that we've got and the solicitor that they've got and that, and it's
we all work for the same company.
It's just interesting. Listen, you know what I mean? And it's
not. It's not like day 4 ago. Someone was talking today, and they're like, "You imagine during the lunch hour, and they're all saying what do you think?" And they're telling you what I said. It's not like that. They're not like sharing secrets.
No. I know. All right, and well, big up to you guys, man, for tuning in. Good debate that. Big up Judge as well, man, keeping me on my toes there. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes. Make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. I'm going to redirect you to Football 12 Man because I was actually meant to be on there an hour ago, but this conversation took over. And of course, Martin is live in 8 minutes. If you want to listen to some more City stuff, go over to Mancunian Way. Are you at 5K yet?
No, about
Come on,
700 off.
go over to Mancunian Way, subscribe, man. These guys are putting out some good content in it. So yeah, big up to you guys. Big up to Martin for jumping on, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.